in the area of technology is actually the usage of speech over the phone and the steps in the interview process.
Well, that's good. I love talking about the phone, and I think it's very important. All my jobs that I had earlier in my career, my bosses would tell me that if you can't use the phones, you can't work here.
Right, and what's interesting is we've gotten away from that. I mean, I was on the show, was a few months ago, and we're talking about the intranet and emails, and it's funny, people will send me an email wondering if they got my first email because I haven't heard from them, as opposed to picking up a phone. Well, maybe your email didn't get to me, so why are you resending it when you should be picking up a phone to call?
Right.
So I've got a couple of observations here. One is I really do believe that you can tell whether somebody is smiling when they write an email or certainly smiling when they leave a voicemail for you. I mean, you can just absolutely sense it
I mean,
in
you
terms
can't
of...
tell in an email.
Oh, you absolutely can tell in an email.
You
can
can.
tell if somebody's being sincere in email or just mailing
Right.
it. Just by the finer points. To your point, Mark, though, I tend to be a huge email user. My wife, on the other hand, tends to be a huge phone user. I would be much more inclined, I give people usually a week, and if I haven't heard from you, I will re-email you. And to me, that's helpful to have a record that I emailed you then and now I'm emailing you again now. But my wife would be the exact opposite, is if she hasn't heard from somebody, she's just going to pick up the phone.
But you already have a job, Rick. That's the difference. The difference is that if you want a job...
Oh, if you're talking about a new candidate, I agree with you 100%.
You know,
I agree with you 100%.
People, I mean, you can,
They want a
especially if you have
human
a
being.
course, right, if you have a course of dealing with somebody or some people that you normally do in your business, then you'll follow up with another email. Then if some reason they're not getting there, you're not hearing them, say, maybe they haven't got my email and pick up the phone. But if you were a candidate...
I agree with you
know,
110%. Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about is the whole steps, the process of utilizing the phone and getting an interview and then having the interview on the phone. And there was a good article in the Globe this past weekend which talks about the initial steps. And what they talk about is your first contact is very important over the phone because it sets the tone. And whether you're calling yourself to schedule an interview or you're meeting somebody the first time on the phone, it's all of an attitude. So they talk about, the first thing is they talk about when to call. And what's interesting is we always say in my business, you want to call when the person will be focused on your call. Calling the first thing in the morning, like I get sometimes calls 8:30 or 8 in the morning of candidates that are anxious from the weekend on a Monday. 8:30 on a Monday is the worst possible time to call an employer because they're dealing with staffing issues or problem issues.
Getting organized.
Right, getting organized. And even as the week goes on, you still have first thing in the morning issues. So what you want to do is set a time where it's into the day, but not in the middle of the day, and not not bothering an employer and having them totally relaxed and focused on your call. So
late in the day might be better.
So right, at 4 o'clock or afterwards,
Right.
when their day is winding down, or
I always like it after work, like after 5, because a lot of times the receptionists leave and it's easier to get through to them as well.
correct, but they might be gone. They might have a
Right.
family and they're leaving.
You're listening to Radio Entrepreneurs. In the studio this evening is Marc Z, who is the president of Longfellow Staffing. He is talking about the right phone etiquette or netiquette as it comes to email for candidates who are searching for jobs, particularly their interface on the telephone.
Right.